Bhagavad Gita says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. One who is a devotee, he comes to me.
Is it about going to Krishna in Golaka or Vaikuntha? Or is it attaining that oneness, that self-realization, that God realization?
Understanding comes with Shravana. When the mind is ready, the understanding itself is the acceptance, is the realization.
Say God is sip. God is nameless, formless.
Ram Hare Ram, Ram Ram Hare Hare. They think it's, ye to is religious hai. And if I say Om Mani Padme Om, I'm spiritual.
प्रभु पास है, दूर नहीं वो प्रभु पास है, आत्मा ही परमात्मा है, दिल के अंदर उसका निवास है.
Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yatati siddhaye. Gita says, from thousands and thousands and thousands of seekers, and yatatam api siddhanam, among the millions and millions and millions who are actually practicing, kaschin mam vetti tattvataha.
Dharma, artha, kama, moksha. Correct? This is what people should understand.
Understanding Vedanta is very easy. To accept Vedanta is very, I can go on forever.
Why
very
that?
Difficult.
Only way to God realization is self-realization. Which means if you don't know Neti Neti Tattvamasi, then you cannot realize Aham Brahmasmi.
You're doing this perfectly. It's great work. I really say with all admiration. It's wonderful.
Namaskar, Swamini Vimalananda Ji, welcome. It is an honor, a pleasure, such a joy to have you here today. Swamini is a senior disciple of my very favorite Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda Ji. I used to not only be amused, but so excited to listen to him, his videos, his talks. She is said to have an honors degree in architecture. But beyond that, she shaped the Chinmaya Vision program. It's called CVP, which became the framework for our country's national education policy. So here you have a very, very powerful, intelligent, transformational leader who led the Chinmaya Mission educational cell for 25 years, impacting millions. Needless to say, she's a very, very dynamic, spiritual leader. She has a great vision. And as a visionary, she educates, she writes, she's an author, she speaks as an understatement. But having authored so many books on Vedanta, on Indian culture, going from religion to spirituality, Swamini Vimalananda Ji, whom we will refer to as Swami for short, is here today at the AiR Institute of Realization. I welcome her and I would like to start off first letting her say a few words and then into this interesting podcast, which I am sure will be one of the most amazing discussions that you have had the chance of hearing. Swamiji.
Hari Om and Namaskar, and thank you for having me here. It's an honor for me as well, and I'm delighted, and I think it's Gurudev's Kripa, that I'm meeting someone who has been inspired by Gurudev. And I can relate to that so easily because he was the inspiring factor in my life, which many people ask me that how come, an architect student goes into spirituality. So the answer I give is very simple. I met Swami Chinmayananda, my guru. The rest is, so to speak, history. And I am humbled at the fantastic introduction of mine. All I can say is Guru Kripa is the only thing that works through us. So anything that happens through us is only because of his Kripa.
So Swamiji, I would like to first of all ask you this question. What made you said you met, the reason you got transformed is your Swami, your Gurudev.
Absolutely.
But what was that turning point to take you from the outer world to the inner world. To put it more simply, you were in a world of architecture, an honor student. From a world of architecture to a world of inner adventure. What was the turning point?
I think the story of every seeker doesn't start in this lifetime. The story starts much earlier.
Correct.
The very fact that we are in this spiritual journey itself shows this is not our first life here. So, I don't know what my past life was, but 100% it must have contributed for me being where I am, because thousands have met Gurudev. So whenever anyone says, just to give a quick answer, I said I met my Gurudev. So I basically want them to not ask further, basically.
Like my Gurudev took me on, he told me, he looked at me one day and said, go on a talash. Just that one word. There were about 1,000 people sitting. My Gurudev locked his eyes with my eyes. There were 1,000 people in the room. You know what I'm talking about. Dada J.P. Vaswani was my Guru.
I'm very much familiar with Vaswani, the whole tradition and all of
So he
Dada.
he locked his eyes and he told me, Talash, go on a talash. 1 year, I was wandering. Talash, idhar talash, udhar. Exactly the next year, on the same Buddha Purnima day, it was on the Buddha Purnima day, he was giving a talk. Again, he locked his eyes. 1 year later, where have you progressed on your talash? And I gave up everything. I left everything. I left my business, I left everything, and I went on. So, like that, I'm asking, was there anything that you'd like to share?
Nothing so dramatic,
Okay.
but I'm born in a family where saints of very great stature used to visit all the time,
Okay.
both the father and the mother's side. Very, very great saints have stayed in the family. Both my grandparents have direct contact with great Mahatmas.
Okay.
Their gurus were great Brahmagyanis. So this sanskar was so strong of having sannyasis and sadhus and being blessed by them. Purva Janma, blessings of these great, great saints in my own life as a child also. Again, the family that I was born and brought up with, that whole samskaras and all of that. At one point of my life, always inquiring, extremely skeptic, not accepting anything. At a point of time, even telling my mother that, why would I want to go to the temple? You please visit, I'll stand outside.
Wow.
Why? I don't want to remove my shoes. So those type of thinking, and then seeing people who are very religious and at the same time having double standards and all that. So saying, if this person is supposed to be religious, why is this person like that? So all these questions of believing, not believing, all mixed thoughts. Basically inquiring about life. And then saying that everyone says Bhagavad Gita is great. I don't want to read someone else's commentary on Bhagavad Gita. I want to read it myself. Unfortunately, I did not know Sanskrit at that time. So someone told me that there's a Sanskrit class somewhere.
Okay.
And actually it happened to be one disciple of Pujya Gurudev taking a class on Vedanta, and I went there not knowing. When I saw the person, the entire crowd was above 50 years of age. And I was 19 years.
Even before you got your honors of architecture?
Before.
Okay.
Me and my sister were there, and he was saying, Sab dukh hai, sab maya hai, everything is dukh. And I really felt that the poor brahmachari on the stage is an unhappy person. So me and my sister discussed. I said, let's give him a good time. Let's take him out. Because he seems so unhappy. And like everyone was old and everyone's nodding away. And I said, they all look so miserable. Why are they so unhappy? They don't look miserable, but why are they listening to all this? No one is unhappy. I'm happy. We're all happy. I've got a wonderful family. I've got everything I want to. However, the grace of Guru is so strong that I went the second time. Why would I go the second time when I think like that? But I went the second time and the third time, and I kept going again and again and again to nothing I did more seriously than going to those classes. The poor brahmachari had a tough time because any word he spoke, I would catch him and ask him the question, why did you say that? Before this, you said this. Why did you not say this? And he said, I'll give you the answer the next time, because he had to think about all these things. So this went on for some time. And then, of course, I met Gurudev. And the first time on the sands of Chowpatty beach, he had his Jnana Yajna. I was sitting somewhere really at the back. And it was mesmerizing. And thereafter, the journey started, so to speak. And there, at a point of time, as one realizes who is the guru, there's a specific time when you realize this person is your guru. And that moment came. You'd never realize at that time, but something happens at that time. Yeah. And later on, I came to know this was the moment when you realize that this was the guru. Yes. So nothing so dramatic where he looked in my eyes, but...
Thank you for sharing. So it's so beautiful to know that you were 19, probably when you started. Yes. Probably even before that you had an inquiring mind.
Very much. A skeptical mind. Questioning anything and everything under the sun.
And at what age did you, if I may ask, leave your world of architecture and get into spirituality?
23.
23.
Yes.
So that's what people, why I'm asking you this question. I want this discussion to be very casual. Why? People don't know. They feel very complicated. They think to be spiritual, they must be a sannyasi. First myth of the world. Then they think, sab kuch tyag karna hai, tapasya karna. They've got it all so wrong. Like you said, when you saw these sannyasis on the you didn't realize they were in such an anand. You had the least clue that what pleasure you enjoyed was minuscule compared to what bliss they were enjoying. But the world is so enamored with physical pleasure, they don't even understand. And so let us move forward. What I want to ask you, some very pertinent questions, very important questions, because like you said, actually I am also in one dharam sankat. Though I got awakened 10 years back to the truth, people first of all are allergic. If somebody tells them somebody is enlightened, they think enlightened. Aap enlightened hai, matlab aap buddh ban gaye, aap aisa. I tell them, enlightenment is just to switch on the light. The only difference, enlighten, to switch on the light inside you. There is avidya, there is darkness. So I use the term I was awakened. That they are quite comfortable with that term. Aap jaag gaye. Aap so rahe the, to aap jaag gaye. Then the people are very comfortable. People are comfortable with that. So when I talk to people, specifically between the people who are Dvaitha and Advaitha, and Swamiji has taught us about Advaitha.
Absolutely.
And like you said, you wanted to learn Sanskrit to understand the Bhagavad Gita. I don't know, but I'm going to give you one statement and correct me, I may be completely wrong. The Bhagavad Gita is a text to me which starts with Dvaitha and then evolves into a very, very profound Advaita teaching. I want to ask you this. What, because you said you studied the Bhagavad Gita and Swami Chinmayananda Ji is so famous, popular, effective in teaching the Bhagavad Gita through his classes. There are people, I'm going to mention their name, in ISKCON and other teachers. They say, when I have a discussion with them, I'm starting to have several discussions because my message is to reach the awakening to the world, to make people realize the truth. They still say, na, हमें मोक्ष नहीं चाहिए, हमें भगवान से एक नहीं होना है, हमें कृष्ण के पास जाना है, हमें कृष्ण से खेलना है. So I don't know, I may be wrong. But you please tell me, what is your understanding of the Bhagavad Gita in essence? We won't take the whole podcast on that. A snapshot. Your understanding of the Bhagavad Gita. Is it talking of going, I'm asking specifically, is it about going to Krishna in Golaka or Vaikuntha? Or is it attaining that oneness, that self-realization, that God realization, that awakening?
Oh, all journeys start with Dvaita. Even people who worship the Nirgun Nirakar Advaita, the journey will always start with Dvaita because I am a seeker and the truth. Even though Atma, you're always one with the self. When the seeker says, I seek, that itself means there is Dvaita.
Absolutely.
So every seeker, whether he believes in Dvaita or in Advaita, the journey always starts with Advaita. The seer experience and the experienced are different. Yeah. So whether you are awakened or not before that, you have to be in Dvaita.
Correct.
So every journey is from Advaita. Now, it's a matter of language. When we say that I want to be one with the self, you realize you're already one with the self. That is realization.
Correct.
Not that there is, I have to become one with the self. If you have to become one with the self, means you will unbecome also.
Then
And
you'll
that will
never
be
become.
unbecoming.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So you have to know
You are the self.
that you are the Satchidananda. So this is the first.
Correct.
Now, as far as Dvaita is concerned, there are great, great saints and sages who, having realized the truth, the Advaita self, have chosen to remain in Dvaita Bhava.
Why is that?
Because the ananda of that love of a prema and premika is so great.
Okay.
It is not that they have not known the Advaita truth.
So I will
For
talk of this.
example,
Later.
Sri Ramakrishna Paramahansa,
Yeah.
classic example.
Yeah.
So he used to worship Ma Kali.
Correct.
And then Ma Kali herself said that if you want to know the absolute truth, you have to become one with the self.
Correct.
So Totapuri was the one who guided him. Ma Kali said what he says is right. You have to know the truth. He realized his Advaita self.
Okay.
And yet
He continued.
This bhava. So there are many, many saints who revel in the Dvaita bhava even after realizing the Advaita truth.
But Swamiji.
That is possible.
Yeah, but no, I want to quickly question you. But they are in the Advaita realization.
They already know the truth.
They don't say that we will go to God and meet God. They can't advocate that.
Let me explain it this way. In the Dvaita world, because I am experiencing the world. When I know the truth, there is no world.
Maya.
It's a Maya. However, every person that you are talking to is in the Maya.
Yes.
So in the Maya, there is all the possible worlds. Yes. Chaturdasha Bhuvanam. There can be Golok also. There can be every possible this.
Correct.
Right? So when a student comes to a teacher, so the teacher looks at the bhava of the student.
At the level of evolution.
At the level of the student. So when a person comes and says, Mujhe Krishna ko milna hai. So the Guru says, Tathastu. When the student says, Mujhe Krishna se ek ho jana hai. The teacher says, Tathastu.
Okay.
So whoever comes, and ultimately they do become. Now, for example, the Bhagavad Gita itself says in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita says, Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayantite. One who worships me, mera jo bhakta hota hai, one who is a devotee, he comes to me. He maybe has darshan or whatever. I give him buddhi yoga, means the Advaita Jnanam, by which he becomes one with me. So, when they go to Golok, let's say, if they go to Golok, if they meet, or even on this earth, if they have darshan of Bhagwan, then depending on their want, Bhagwan says, okay, I give you the Advaita darshan or Advaita Jnanam. Shabri is a classic example. Shabri, what did she want? उसके गुरु ने कहा कि भगवान राम आएंगे, he will come. That's it. She doesn't know who is this Ram. Her faith is only in the Guru. So she keeps on preparing for him to come, and she becomes old also. And then Bhagwan, of course, takes care of all this bhakta. So he comes. He gives him her darshan. And he eats all the bear, all the story we all know. When he leaves from there, Bhagwan Rama, Shabri sits to meditate. There is nowhere written that Bhagwan Ram taught her how to meditate. Atma Gnan diya. Yes, kuch aata hi nahi aise kuch. But she meditates, she attains moksha. So what did he do? His darshan gave her this knowledge. She sat, she realized the self, she became mukta.
What you're saying is very profound. But we will get a little specific.
Yes.
See, you are an authority. You must not let this matter be ambiguous. So I'm requesting you, let us be clear absolutely on this matter. My saying is bhakti. भक्ति में है वो शक्ति जिससे मिलेगी मुक्ति. Which means I built a Shiva temple when I was a Shiva Bhakt. I was a Shiva Bhakt from 8 years old. I got a vision. Swamiji, I had no money, I had no land, I had no architect, I had nothing. When one man came and told me he'll build this temple, Kashinath.
Oh, Kashinath, we know him. He's the one who built our this even in
Yeah,
the Dinabandhu temple.
He's not able to replicate this statue himself. 10 people have authorized him, please make this Shiva statue. We want this picture. He cannot do it. So all I'm saying is, my bhakti took me from Om Namah Shivaya, Shivoham, Shivoham. My bhakti took me from, Oh Lord Shiva, I bow down to you, to Lord Shiva, I have attained you within me. So I'm going to come back to the Bhagavad Gita in a moment, but I'm asking you a very direct question. Bhakti is the way. Bhakti has to become Bhakti Yoga, because only if there's Bhakti in duality, are we telling people who are listening to us that if you sit down and you keep on chanting Om Namah Shivaya, Hare Krishna, Hare Ram all your life, will all of you attain moksha? Are you saying that just by bhakti everybody will attain moksha?
Even by jnana, everyone will not attain moksha.
No, I agree with you. But
unless you have the grace of Guru,
yeah.
Very clearly, the Upanishads say, Yam eva esha vrunute tena labhyaha. One who chooses the self attains the self. To that seeker, the self reveals itself.
Correct.
So, whether it is bhakti, when a person says, I want Bhagavan and Bhagavan alone. One says, I want Atma and Atma alone. That is when the magic works.
I agree with you.
Okay, so if a bhakta, every bhakta, if they come to this God alone, what would happen is, I would still say that it is possible, because Tesham Aham Samudharta, the same Gita says that. Tesham Aham Samudharta, I lift them up.
Correct.
So भगवान का काम है वो कि वो उनको मुक्ति देते हैं.
Agree.
Because at the end of the day, in bhakti also, as long as there are two, Mirabai also says, प्रेम की गली अति सांकड़ी, उसमें न समाये दो. So if there is a bhakta and a Bhagwan, there are two. So finally one has to merge in the other.
Therefore the realization has to come.
For example, Mirabai. There is no doubt that she had the knowledge. For her, Krishna was not just outside, was inside also.
Correct.
Right? And she did all her life, we call her still a bhakta.
Correct.
We don't call her a jnani. It is not that she doesn't, we don't call her a jnani. We call her a bhakta.
Yeah.
Because culmination of jnana and culmination of bhakti is always one and the same.
So let me quickly tell you, I tell people, because I have written 83 books on the subject.
Yes.
After giving this up.
Yes.
I sing songs, 1500 songs I've written, but only on this subject. When people come to me, I tell them, if you have bhakti, then your bhav has to be not ye bhi, wo bhi, prabhu bhi. Ye bhi doesn't work. How you at 19, you reach that state, prabhu hi. You can be in the world because there's no other world. You have to be walking in the street. But while you're walking with your feet on the street, your dhyana, your chitta, your consciousness is on that one. You know, why I'm getting to this is, Swamiji, people are a little confused and we have to help them. Let me give you a quick understanding. I was a bhakta from 8 years to 48 years. I built this temple, and I built a temple, I built Bara Jyotirling, I built Amarnath Ling made of ice. It is all bhakti, 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 bhakti. Then I told Shiva, I want you. I wrote in a song, Prabhu पाना यही मकसद है, मरने से पहले प्रभु को पाना है, सब कुछ मिला अगर प्रभु ना मिला तो संसार मिला फिर भी कुछ ना हम पाते. I used to ask Prabhu, तू कहाँ है, तू कैसा है, ये सवाल करते हैं नाथ. जग ये माने या ना माने, तू तो है जानू मैं नाथ. तू कहाँ है. I used to ask God, where are you? What are you? I'm going to come to Kailasa. I want to meet you. I went to Badrinath, and that Pandit ji is telling me, वो है ना, वो चोटी है ना, सूरज, the sun is shining on an ice mountain. वो क्या है पंडित जी? वो नीलकंठ है. ऐसे पंडित जी बोलो वो क्या है? वहां पहले शिव जी बैठते थे, वहां वो शिव जी का घर था. ऐसे फिर क्या हुआ? फिर बहुत लोग बद्रीनाथ आ गए ना, बहुत लोग शिव जी को डिस्टर्ब किए ना, तो फिर शिव जी चले गए, नीलकंठ को छोड़. स्वामी जी, we have to give people a clear picture. I was fortunate in my talash. I read Swami Chinmayananda's books. I followed the path of Adi Shankara. I read Atma Bodha, Tattva Bodha, also to do Swamiji's books. I read Drigdhya Viveka, Upadesa Sara. I have only 4 or 5 books. Viveka Chudamani, Aparoksh Anubhuti. Few books, which I think by telling you understand what this is. When this whole thing came up, I realized the truth in 12 words. 12 words. To me, I tell people, I don't know Sanskrit. So every time I'm thank you for explaining whatever you're saying. I'm an avidya in Sanskrit. But I realized the word neti, neti. When I realized neti, neti, I am not this body, I am not the mind, tattvamasi. Then I went on to the Mahavakyas. Neti, neti, tattvam asi. Ayam atma brahma. Prajnanam brahma. Aham brahmasmi. But you know exactly what I'm getting at. These 12 words became to me as clear as a glass of crystal clean water. I could see through and through. I gave up Om Namah Shivaya because I heard Adi Shankara singing. Mano bodhi hankar chittani nam chidananda rupa shivoham shivoham. This became the mission of my life. I shut my business. I said, what is the point? We earn, others will burn what we earn. What is, you said your biggest realization is it was your past karma, your sanchita karma, your prarabdha karma that brought you as Vimalananda and meeting Swamiji. Then it was your agami karma, your present karma, which made you choose the. But people must be given a clear picture. As long as people think that I will go to a God in heaven, whether it's a Swarga, whether it's a heaven, whether it's a Golaka, whether it's a Vaikuntha, whether it's a Kailasa, then the duality is there. Is duality the ultimate stage, or is non-duality the ultimate stage?
Non-duality is the truth. It's not a stage.
The ultimate truth.
It is the truth. And that alone exists. Duality is a vision, an appearance. This is what Advaitha says, Vedanta says. However, it is the ultimate. There is no doubt. I am Vedanti through and through.
Yeah, I want you to specifically say, because people are confused.
I will put a caveat over there.
Yes.
Why does Sanatana Dharma have so many paths? It's a matter of adhikari. Why do we have so many forms of God? Because we could have had one God form and finish the whole. No, we have so many forms. Why? Because हर व्यक्ति का स्वभाव अलग होता है.
Correct.
Vasanas are different. They're like someone says, I like Ganesha. Why? He's got a nice pot belly like me and he looks nice. Someone says, no, I like Krishna. Why? Because he won't even stand straight. Oh, natkhat hai. He will be like that. I like Ram or Dharma, Maryada, Purushottam, Bhagavan. So that's why you have so many different.
Very good.
Similarly, we have so many masters. Why do we have? Because everyone would not have come to a Swami Chinmayananda. However great. For me, he's the greatest. However, not everyone would have this. Someone would have gone to another person.
Correct.
Each one to have their own this. Similarly, there are so many paths. Now, not everyone is able to appreciate the Advaita truth.
Yes. It's impossible to straight away do it.
It is not, it is difficult. It is, see, the sadhanas of bhakti, of karma yoga, etc. are easier. The sadhana of Vedanta, Advaita, Jnana Yoga is Shravana, Manana, Nididhyasana. This is the sadhana.
Correct.
So, until unless the mind is ready, if you have heard Puja Gurudev's talks, he keeps talking about Karma Yoga as a means to purify the mind.
Absolutely.
Right? So, it is extremely important. So, someone can take Kundalini Yoga, someone can take Dhyana Yoga, someone can. There are so many. So, these paths are given for that. So, it may not be possible for everyone to appreciate Advaita or even walk the path. I have found this so often that people listen to Advaita Vedanta because I have been speaking on Advaita Vedanta for the past 35 years. They listen to Advaita Vedanta, they appreciate, they understand, but they do not accept. I make a distinction between this very much.
They go back to bhakti. They need
not
to
really,
go back.
Not really. Let me get this a little bit. This, for example, when we tell someone that you're intelligent, so what happens is not only do they understand it, they accept it at the same time, and they'll say thank you. You know, there's no gap between the understanding and the acceptance.
Correct.
Right? You're intelligent? Yes. So they have understood also and accepted at that moment. Now you tell them, you are Satchidananda Brahma. They have understood, but they have not accepted. So this understanding comes with Shravana. When the mind is ready, the understanding itself is the acceptance, is the realization. However, 99.99999% of us are not prepared.
Correct.
Therefore, when I listen to you are Satchidananda, they are words. They are understood. Then we explain what is Sat, what is Chit, what is Ananda, what is Brahma, what is everything, Atma, everything is explained. So every time they say, yes, I understand. But there is never an of realization. There is never an acceptance. Actually, when you ask anyone that when you have to say that I am this, I am infinite, this thought itself is impossible for 99, anyone, 99.99999 to even to intellectually comprehend this thought that I am infinite. So what have they done? They have understood, but they have not accepted.
Not realized.
Not accepted. I will just put it as a simple word as not accepted
but
it at all.
Even acceptance, Swamiji, they may accept but still not realize.
No, the acceptance is the realization.
Okay.
Like for example, you are intelligent.
Yeah.
The acceptance is the realization. Yes, I am intelligent.
I will share something with you on this.
So therefore, realization is not something that happens like that. As you said very clearly, neti is the only way of defining Brahman.
Yeah.
There is no other way of defining Brahman. Neti is the way. I am not this, I am not this, I am not this is the only way. Yeah. When you say I am this, you have objectified Atma, which is not possible.
Atma is Paramatma. You cannot.
So you cannot objectify and say, I know Atma, I have realized Atma, I am this. It is not possible. The minute you do that, Atma hi Atma nahi raha. So it is not possible. So therefore, this knowledge, being of the nature what it is subtle. Sukshmat sukshmataram.
Correct.
It is so subtle. So what happens is, for the general public, let us say, we do recommend saying, please sadhana karo. Your sadhana can be anything. It can be bhakti sadhana, it can be jnana sadhana, it can be yoga sadhana.
Correct.
It can be kundalini, whatever. It depends on which product who likes.
What helps you evolve on that path?
What is your natural swabhava? And you can do, and most of us, in fact, do a permutation combination of the sadhanas. थोड़ा योग भी करते हैं तो शरीर ठीक रहता है, थोड़ा प्राणायाम भी कर लेते हैं, भगवान की भक्ति भी कर लेते हैं, ये भी कर. So this is multiple things. A permutation and combination of these different sadhanas helps us to prepare the mind for Shravan Manan. So this capacity of Mananam, I have found, is not easy to get. Not everyone is capable of doing. Not everyone has the will to do it. Not everyone has the, what do you call it?
The kripa, the grace, the
kripa
guru kripa.
and the grace and all of that. Yeah. And therefore, even the Krishna in this Jnana Yogena Sankhyanam Karma Yogena Yoginam. जो ज्ञान मार्ग पर जो चलता है वो सांख्य वो चलेगा और कर्म योग में चलता है तो वो चलेगा. Ultimately, you have this Advaita is the only knowledge. There is no doubt about that.
This clarity people don't have. See, in today's world is not like the earlier world. Earlier world, there was no social media, there was no internet. So people were dependent on very localized knowledge. Today, the world is looking at a very global picture. I'm only asking your endorsement. People must know you can take any path, you can do Dvaitha, you can follow all this, but people are intelligent to understand. Ultimately, on the top, that ultimate truth is that Jagat Mithya Brahma Satya. Is there any iota of doubt in this?
Not at all.
I'm a baby in the field. I have 10 years only of awakening. And actually, I never marketed my subject. I never took it to the world. But I have some beautiful things to share with you. I want to ask your view on certain things. So, can you just tell me a little bit to conclude Bhagavad Gita as a text of duality and non-duality? Just give me a conclusion on this one subject, then we go forward.
Bhagavad Gita ultimately propounds the Advaita truth. There is no doubt about it. But it talks a lot. Even the Vedas, there are two main topics of the Vedas. The same thing is there for all our scriptures. Irrespective it is Shruti, Smriti, Purana, Itihasa, they all come from the whole basic this. They talk of two topics. One is called Dharma and the other is called Brahma. In a very, very simple explanation of what is Dharma and what is Brahma, I will say, Dharma is knowledge by which you can make the here and the hereafter better. इहलोक परलोक को सुधारने का ज्ञान जो है उसको हम धर्म कहते हैं. कि how I can live a better life here, how I can have better, like be happier in this world. So this knowledge is called dharma jnana. It's in simple language. Yes. I'm not making it more complicated. And what is brahma jnanam? इहलोक और परलोक से मुक्त करने का ज्ञान जो है वो ब्रह्म ज्ञान है. One which liberates us from the here and the hereafter is called Brahma Jnana.
Correct.
So, whether it is the Vedas, the Upanishads, or it is Bhagavad Gita, it gives both this knowledge. Okay. So, it gives, like if you see the bulk, for example, it gives us the values of life. Amanitvam, adhambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, rarjavam. तो वो सब क्या करते हैं? हमारा इहलोक सुधारता है. Correct. कि अभिमान नहीं होना चाहिए, be kind to others, be compassionate. So all these are things by which ihalok this. So all of our this, whether it is even the Puranas and all, they do give Brahma Jnanam. There is no doubt about it. For example, Vedas, the Vedanta, especially the Upanishads, their emphasis is only on Brahma Jnanam.
Correct. They are the essence.
Still, they do talk of Dharma Jnanam, क्योंकि उपासना भी आती है. Dvaitha Upanishad has so many upasanas.
I understand.
So the upasanas are not for moksha. Yeah. Upasanas are for what? Making the mind ready. Sadhan chatushtaya prapta karne ke liye, to make that mind ready for Brahma Jnana.
No, very beautiful.
So similarly in the Bhagavad Gita, there is both Dharma Jnanam and Brahma Jnanam.
But clearly the way of Bhagavad Gita is to start with your Dvaita and ultimately reach Advaita. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely no doubt.
So just to conclude what you're saying, that's why the Purushartha tells us Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Correct? This is what people should understand. Purush Artha. पुरुष का अर्थ यही है कि धर्म से शुरू करो, अंत में मोक्ष पाना है. Beautiful. So can we move forward? I want to share something very beautiful with you, since you talked about how Miraji said that दो नहीं रह सकते. So when I teach people, and I teach people in a very practical manner. So I'm going to quickly tell you how I teach people. I tell people to understand neti. I teach them, when was your birthday? When they give me their birthday, I say, no, you were kicking in your mother before that. They say, I was kicking. I make them understand practically. So when were you conceived? I was conceived 9 months before. What were you at that time? That time sharir to nahi tha. There was no body. Then I asked them, is your mind round like a ball? They say, no, it's like for fluffy. I said, that's the brain. Where is your mind? Have you seen color of your mind, size of your... Nobody has seen mind, because mind doesn't exist. Mind is a bundle of thoughts. It appears when thoughts appear. When you're in Satchitanand, then there is no mind. Mind becomes Chitta. So I try to make them understand. So this is only, I tell them death. I tell people, मौत की सच्चाई क्या है, हम कभी ना मरते हैं, हम तो इस शरीर से मुक्त होते हैं, जब ये तन मरता है, हम तो अमर आत्मा है, आत्मा कभी ना मरती है, एहसास जब होता है, हम तन मन्ना संसार से मुक्त होते हैं. I try to explain people in a very practical, because to understand Sanskrit and Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita one lifetime, even the help of a good guru, an enlightened master, it's so difficult. And I am in a rush to try to help people to seek, to become jigyasus, to become mumukshus. So I tell people, like you said, you can have dhyana yoga. When you get up in the morning, be still, silent. Then you have bhakti yoga. Sing bhajan, kirtan, go to temple. Then go to karma yoga. Don't keep on desiring what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Phal ki ichha mat karo. Be a karma yogi. Surrender whatever you're doing for Prabhu. And then do jnana yoga. So I have a Zoom call every day 8 o'clock. Hundreds of people come on Zoom to ask live questions. When I was going through one yoga to another yoga, trying to be a yogi, trying to be in that union, that state of being united, was very difficult, because bhoga is attracting us. And I tell people, yogi jo yog mein sada hi rahe, prabhu ke yog mein rahe. One day, Lord Shiva, when I was praying to Lord Shiva in this temple, I sing in the temple, one day I was telling him, मेरे दिल में बस एक तुम ही हो, तन मन में और कोई नहीं हो, ऐसा हो जाए बस एक तुम ही हो, इतना भर दे के और कुछ नहीं हो. I was singing. And very interesting, I want to tell you this. And then I sang, है ये आस्था मुकम्मल तुम ही हो, जीवन में मेरे और कुछ नहीं हो, कन कन मेरा तुम बस तुम ही हो, और कुछ भी आए जगह नहीं हो, मेरे तन मन में मुकम्मल तुम ही हो, बस एक तुम ही हो, बस एक तुम ही हो. I was crying, shedding tears in entreaty. Shiva, I love you so much, I want you. Then he gave me a gift. He said, not only dhyana yoga, bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, he gave me a gift of prema yoga. He told me, hey, hello, मैं तो सब में हूं, सब में प्रभु को देख के सबसे प्यार करना, प्रभु को पाने के लिए एक ही है रास्ता, सबसे प्यार कर लो, प्रभु से प्यार कर लो. He told me, अरे बेवकूफ, Prabhu, I am Atma, and every individual, even your pet dog that comes and licks you is me. The one who's wagging the tail is me. And then I got awakened to this prema yoga. Then I told people, now it's very easy. Either you live in bhakti yoga, karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyana yoga. If you can't do something, go do prema yoga. Love God in everyone. But people must understand. You go and tell somebody I love you, you will get one slap on your face. People don't understand the true meaning of love. But you know, what I'm saying is, every human being has a right to be enlightened. Do you agree? I'm not saying they will be, but every human being has the right to be enlightened. Do you agree that a dog cannot be enlightened, or you think even a dog can be enlightened, or you need a Manush Janam to be enlightened? What is your saying on this?
If you have the kripa of Raman Maharshi, he could make a monkey enlightened.
Huh.
Otherwise, only in the human birth you will get
Only in the
enlightened.
But this is very unusual what you're saying.
Yes.
So then now tell us a little bit more about Swami Chinmayananda's key teachings for people who are listening to us, who want to be jigyasus, who want to be Jivan Mukta. Few key, just principle, 2, 3, 4 principal teachings of Swami Chinmayananda which you would like to share.
Pujya Gurudev Swami Chinmayananda was a very, very, very great Mahatma, a skeptic, a Deshbhakta, freedom fighter, who had to run away from the British for a long time, keep his, he was chased by them. For a year, he was incognito.
Okay.
He was jailed many times. There was one time when he was jailed, he was almost dying of illness in the jail. And they said, we don't want one more person dying in the jail, give a bad name to them. So they just threw him on the roadside somewhere. A devotee came, someone came, saw him lying over there, took him home. They didn't know who it was. And that was a Christian lady, and very humorously, you know how Gurudev's humor was there. Her son had died recently, and his nose was like Gurudev. So Gurudev says, I was saved by my nose. I was saved by the nose. So he, brought him back to, good health and all that. And he, at one time, he was a journalist. He was a very, very good journalist. And he said, let me expose all these swamis and all the, वो सब ढोंगी होते हैं. This was his thought. So he went to Rishikesh, met Swami Shivanand Maharaj and said, I'm a journalist and I want to explore what you people do. Swami Shivanand Maharaj was a great, great Mahatma. So he says, please stay here for as long as you want. Gurudev just went to interview, stayed for 6 months, read every book under the sun in the library, did lots of satsang, went back and forth, and all, and finally took sannyas from Swami Shivanand Maharaj. Swami Shivanand Maharaj, a great, great, great master, said, look, I am not your guru. Gurudev was sent to Swami Tapon Maharaj in Gangotri. In those days, there was no vehicle. He walked there. Swami Tapon Maharaj said, he said, Gurudev said that Shivanand Maharaj sent me to you. He says, how do I know that? He says, no, he sent me there. He says, do you have any proof of that? Go and bring a letter.
My God.
देखो गुरु होते हैं कसौटी करते हैं. So he walked back. That time no vehicles. He walked back, got a letter, came back. देखो they say no.
To show his
one
sincerity.
alone. No, I want the truth alone. ये जिज्ञासा नहीं होती तो कहाँ मिलता?
Yeah, very good.
And he stayed for years with Tapan Maharaj, again going back and forth. Then one day he was sitting on the banks of the river Ganga, and he had this vision. Gangaji does not just, flow in the Himalayas. She goes to the plains to bless mankind. I am blessed with this Jnana Ganga. I have to give it to everyone. I have to share this knowledge with everyone. In our country, the knowledge of the scriptures is just not there. No one knows. And Ajnana is the reason for a lot of problems. I mean, even for small things in life, Ajnana is the reason for problems.
The root cause. Yeah.
Root cause. Avichara kruto bandha. Avichar ke karan, all problems come. Vicharena nivartate. Either you don't think at all, or you incomplete thing, or wrong thinking. Either of it causes only sorrow. So the right knowledge is absolutely important. And this great, great heritage of ours, these great scriptures, they just are getting lost. People have to go to the Himalayas or go to gurus to get this knowledge. And it's not available for just every ordinary person. And therefore, he decided. So he told his guru that, look, this is my vision, this is what I want to do. So Tapovan Maharaj said, to leave this beautiful, pristine glory of the Himalayas, and kahan wo gutter mein jana hai wapas? He says, no, but this is what I want to do. So his guru told him that 1 year, go walk around the country, see the pulse of the people, understand what exactly is their need, and then talk of this knowledge. This is exactly what Pujya Gurudev did. He walked all around India. And then in Pune, his first lecture in a small little Ganesha temple, he jokes and says that there were three people, including the speaker. And one of them was a Muslim. But he is, as you know, such a powerful and a great speaker. He had 100-day yajna. By the end of it, not only was the temple full, its veranda and everything full, the whole lane, they had to put mics in the whole lane, and people were listening. And then he went here, there, and its history. He went all over the world and did the prachar of the Upanishads. Initially, he used to only take the Upanishads. Then he realized that this knowledge is such that it's going to be difficult for people to this. And therefore, he started the Bhagavad Gita as well. And then all the Shankaracharya texts, the Vivek Chudamani, etc., all of these texts, he started giving Jnana Yajnas. His main thing was the Jnana Yajnas. Then started the Chinmay mission, where people like us were trained. And then he even, social service projects. We have hospitals, we have all sorts of the Chinmay organization for rural development, a lot of wonderful. We have about 100 schools and colleges. Now we have a university, Chinmay Vishwavidyapit. A lot of other work, social service work, and a lot of things are happening. Education is a big thing that's happening. But, of course, the main purpose of the whole Chinmay mission is to spread the knowledge of Vedanta. That is the core and the heart and soul of the mission's work.
Beautiful.
So, Pujya Gurudev, his teaching is what? Vedanta. It's not anything of his own. He always used to say, it's nothing of my own. I am teaching Vedanta, the knowledge. And of course, we belong to the Shankaracharya Parampara. Yeah. And naturally, Shankar Advaitha Vedanta is what we speak about. But the way he spoke it, he appealed to the intellectuals. Were it not for him, someone like me would not have been attracted. If someone had just said, okay, you have to believe only and not question, where he kept on saying question, think. And he would joke and say, longer the beard, more the skepticism you must have. More you should question. And he had a nice long beard.
I tell people, if the person can take you from go to ro, if the person can take you from avidya to awakening, to at least you can make some sense. Today people ask questions. They ask me hundreds of questions. I like this. Yesterday you told like this. Today you are telling something else. So we have to explain every single thing. But if somebody asks you, simple word, somebody asks you in the normal conversation, what is the way to God realization? What would be your short answer?
It all depends on who is asking me. I will not give a broad answer because you look at a person. डॉक्टर आता है सब दवाई एक तो नहीं दे सकते हैं जो पेशेंट आता है उसके आधार पर देता है तो किस बीमारी से So a lot of people come with sorrows. A lot of people, there are people who come with anger, some people, so many issues, or some people come with actual jignasa. So it depends on the question that they ask or who is approaching.
But if they are seeking God realization?
If they are seeking God realization, then the things become much easier.
So what would be the route? If somebody asks you, give me a route, I want God realization. What route would you will show them?
That again depends on the person.
So no, I don't believe it's the same.
I will not.
So
I
correct
would not.
me where I am wrong. I want your correct. I want, since you're a master, I want your... I tell people something, and if it's wrong, I want you to correct it. I say if the only way to God realization is self-realization. Which means if you don't know Neti Neti Tattvamasi, then you cannot realize Aham Brahmasmi. Please comment. Do you think this is the right way or the wrong way?
If that person comes at a level where in his life he may say, I want God, but that's because someone close to him has died. आज उसका ये, that's why he's showing all this interest. I will talk from my own experience about people who come. There was one young girl who seemed so much that she was talking only about moksha. And foolish me thought she really wanted moksha. So I started pumping her with Vedanta. And she followed me in many places because I used to go for Jnana Yajnas everywhere. I would get a letter from her every week. In those good old days, people used to write letters. So I would get letters and I would answer the letters and this and all. And then finally, like she was so intense in her wanting of moksha and everything. And I was so impressed by that. Extremely intelligent young girl. So I told her, we have this 2.5 years course. So you really get to study. You'll do all your sadhanas. You'll do your manan, shravan manan, everything you will get a chance to do, etc. So I told her, you have to wait for a year because the next course starts after a year's time and all. In the meantime, I get a letter from her saying, I am so blessed. I have attained what I wanted in life. So I said, Arey, खेल खत्म, उसके लिए मुक्त हो गई वो. Next sentence was, मेरे को इसरो में इंटरव्यू मिला है. And can I come and stay in your ashram? Because our ashram is right opposite ISRO in Ahmedabad. So can I stay in your ashram? So I said, you can stay in the ashram. So she stayed in the ashram. She gave the interview. She got this. After that, I didn't see her for 6 months. So therefore, when people say they want moksha,
It doesn't.
Remember, Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschit yadati siddhaye. Gita says, from thousands and thousands and thousands of seekers, actually some of them actually practice. And yatatam api siddhanam, among the millions and millions and millions who are actually practicing, कश्चिन माम वेत्ति तत्वतः कोई जोड़े. तो इसलिए जब हम कहते हैं कि when person is coming for God realization, it is.
I agree. I completely
So
agree.
therefore, when a person is actually, it may be some other problem that they have that they are coming to you for, and you say do Shravan Manan Nididhasan, तो क्या है? Vedanta is shurasya dhara. It is not an easy this path for everyone to walk. A safer path. What I tell people normally when people come is, I said, तुम साधना करो पहले.
Any sadhana, whatever.
Any sadhana. You take up a japa, 10 minute japa. Now, right now, our condition of the majority of this country's, let's say the Hindu population or whatever, if you want to call them, we were given a choice. The Sanatan Dharma gave us a choice. Ki you can do this sadhana or this sadhana or this sadhana or Jnana Yoga or Parakarma Yoga, whatever. We were given a choice of doing these different things. Now, the choice was between doing this and doing this. The Hindus thought that the choice was between doing and not doing. And what do 99.99999% do? Not do.
Correct.
You think a person without this sadhan chatushtaya to get moksha is impossible. It is only talk.
Yeah, I agree.
It is only इधर के लिए बोलने के लिए. तो जब मन ही तैयार नहीं है और हम कहे कि नहीं सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन करो, जहां सब नेति नेति करना पड़ता है, तो it really does not help them actually. It in fact वो रियलाइज तो नहीं करते हैं और साधना भी नहीं करते हैं. वो मन तैयार करने के लिए जो साधना आवश्यक होती है वो भी नहीं करते हैं. इससे बेहतर है कि तू बैठ बेटा आधे घंटे के लिए 5 मिनट. मैं तो माई थिंग इज सो मिनिमलिस्टिक. मैंने कहा एवरी डे 10 minutes कंपल्सरी एंड एक्सक्लूसिव गॉड टाइम. दिस इज राइट नाउ सो कॉल्ड माई फॉर्मूला. बिकॉज 10 मिनट कौन बैठता है भाई?
Let them sit from 10, then 15, then 20.
हाँ, पहले तो 10 करो ना. 1 साल के लिए 10 करेंगे ना तो यू विल सी द चेंज विच इज ड्रास्टिक. तो इंस्टेड ऑफ सेइंग बड़ी चीज है कि सेल्फ रियलाइजेशन, मैं क्या कहती हूँ 10 मिनट. एंड वो भी कहती हूँ अलार्म रख के करना, नहीं तो वो 10 मिनट सिर्फ देखते लेंगे दब्स कब हो गए. सो आई से 10 मिनट, डोंट वरी, यू जस्ट सिट 10 minutes and that is compulsory and exclusive. What is the compulsory? As I said, even if you're tired, even if you're bored, even if you're sick,
No getting up.
even if you hate God, still do the 10 minutes. Even if that day you say, I don't even believe in God, still sit for 10 minutes. Do it as a niyam and exclusive. Exclusive means what? कि नहीं हम चलाते चलते कार चलाते चलाते हनुमान चालीसा बोलते हैं. Not like that. Not like that. Exclusive means nothing else at that time. No this and no some singing of something which you know and all that, because otherwise you'll be busy trying to do that. No. So therefore, my advice.
Sadhna's complete dhyana you are saying, or something else, or bhakti.
So I say either of these two, because they're the exclusive. Otherwise, what happens? वो chanting करने लगते हैं. Vishnu Sahasranam, Vishnu Vishnu. So it again that mechanical this starts
and the mind
happening.
is somewhere else. The mind
Something
is-
happens. So what I say, either do japa or do dhyana.
But with complete focus.
Only that part. Just do dhyana or japa. Just sit, this quietly. So let whatever has to come out of your mind, sit with the focus that मैं भगवान के सामने. It doesn't matter whether you have a photo of Bhagwan in front of you. Just sit with that sort of a thing कि भगवान के सामने बैठे हैं. 10 minute exclusive and compulsory. Got time. Once this इतना तो आए, हम God realization is far away. Self realization is far away. It is not, even though every human being is capable of getting self-realization, they will not get. That is a fact of life. So therefore, there are many, many barriers to self-realization. Unless you take out those barriers, if you just say, nahi, realize, I remember this wonderful J. Krishnamurti. I have a lot of regard also for him as one of my, person who has influenced my life. And I was studying in the J.G. College of Architecture, and in the grounds of the J.G. College, he used to have his lectures every time. So, and very, very exclusive type of a crowd used to go and sit and listen to him. And he had this thing, in the middle of his talk, he would just say, see, think, see the truth here. Meaning, for him it was probably very evident. तो उनको लग रहा है कि ये लोग क्यों नहीं देख पा रहे हैं, वो इतना एविडेंट है, इतना स्पष्ट है वो ट्रूथ, तो क्यों नहीं. तो he would stop and pause and everyone would be looking at it, including me. I have no idea what he was talking about. So I would also say, I said, not bad, and I would be looking more at others than looking at my own, trying to see the truth. So therefore, that is why they have this पद्धति होती है, ये मेथड्स होती है to get. So सुनना एक चीज है, वेदांत को सुनना, my personal this is, I always say that to understand Vedanta is very, very, very easy. If anyone says it's difficult, then either the person is not this or the person is not really interested. It's actually very easy. I have made 10-year-old kids understand Vedanta.
No, because
it's very simple.
So difficult.
It's not difficult at all. But, there's a big, big but.
I know.
Understanding Vedanta is very easy. To accept Vedanta is very, 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 I can go on forever. Why very then, difficult.
Swamiji, why then did our scripture tell us Sravana, Manana, Nididhyasana?
नहीं, श्रवण मनन निधिध्यासन के पहले तत्वबोध में ही लिखा है, साधन चतुष्टय संपन्न अधिकारी. पहले साधन चतुष्टय, उसके बाद में श्रवण आता है. जी, हम लोग श्रवण पहले करते हैं. इसीलिए हमारे शास्त्र में 2 प्रकार के ये कहते हैं. बोले कृतोपास्ति, अकृतोपास्ति. कृतोपास्ति का अर्थ क्या होता है? जिसने उपासना कर ली है टू अ वेरी ग्रेट एक्सटेंट, उसका मन तैयार ऑलरेडी है. ऐसा व्यक्ति जब श्रवण करता है, तत्वमसी उसका करता है, तब वो मनन करता है, निधिध्यासन होता है, उसको साक्षात्कार होता है. अकृतोपास्ति होता है, मन ही तैयार नहीं है, न विवेक है, न वैराग्य है, न शमदमादि षट संपत्ति है, न मुमुक्षुत्वम है. अगर आप उसको बात बताएंगे, सुनेगा, समझेगा, एक्सेप्ट करना असंभव होगा.
You know what you're telling me? We have a Zoom call. Exactly what you're saying. On this Zoom call, I used to speak for half an hour. Now it has become 1 hour. People from New York, Canada, Dubai, Jakarta, Hong Kong, all people come. And they ask questions. We have 2 typical people. One will come and bum, ask question. One, bum. 1 day, 2 day. Gone. Never to see them. And some people are coming just like they are in a temple. They are sitting for 1 hour. Every day. I really get touched. What sadhana? This is to sit 1 hour without missing a day. But you know, what you're saying is very true. I tell people 1% of this world is visually blind. 1%. They can't see. 99% are spiritually blind. Because only 1%, I believe, can go towards a guru, can go towards this. But I found a trick. I found a very good trick I want to share with you. So I started spreading this message to as many people as I can. What? Neti, neti, tattvamasi, singing, talking, podcast, all these things. How many people are even interested? I found one thing very interesting in my journey of life. I had a lot of achievement, money, this building this mall, kids camp, blah blah, a lot of money I made. From achievement, I stopped. My guru took me to fulfillment. I shut my business. And then the third peak is enlightenment. He showed me how happiness is not pleasure that comes from achievement. It is peace that comes from fulfillment. But he told me, अरे तू enlightenment में जाएगा ना, you are liberated from all misery and sorrow. No pain of the body, no misery of the mind, no agony of the ego. I said, कैसा? He said, उधर जाना. So what's the trick I have used now? On one side, I'm teaching people Atma Gyan, Brahma Gyan. I'm trying to teach seekers, Jigyasus, Mumukshus, this side. But the audience is very small. But the 99%, what they want to be happy. So I've started something called the happiness secret. Attracting 99% of the people to go from pleasure to peace, push them to want ultimate happiness. I teach them you can overcome the mind, and mind has 7 miseries: fear, worry, stress, anxiety, regret, shame, and guilt. Ego has 7 monsters: anger, hate, revenge, jealousy, pride, greed, and selfishness. I teach them, अरे ये सबसे मुक्ति मिलेगा. So now there are a lot of people wanting that. So probably by like showing a child an ice cream and then bringing the child home and making the child do homework, maybe it is that strategy. I don't know. My mission is very clear. Till I am alive, I tell I am Ladi. Ladi means I am living as a divine instrument. मैं क्या करता हूँ? Today I am talking to you, like we both said. Are we prepared a conversation? There is no. I tell people, when you realize, you don't have to memorize. When you realize, you don't memorize, you don't analyze, because you become just a tele-receiver. प्रभु बात करता है, हम बोल रहे हैं, हम लगता है कि हम बोल रहे हैं, हम कुछ नहीं करता है. करने वाला तो वो है. The Guru speaks, the Prabhu speaks. But of course, my mission is this. Why am I talking to you today? I'm talking to you today to make people listen. कि ब्रह्म ज्ञान, आत्म ज्ञान, अद्वैता, that is the ultimate thing. Bhakti karo. So we run ashrams. We had 800 people. And earlier I used to do it as a good karma. Pick somebody from the street, shave them, shower them, give them food. Then I told people not like this. I said, शिव ज्ञानी जन सेवा, विवेकानंद ने ये कहा, दुखियों की सेवा जो करता वही शिव को पाता, एहसास जिसको होता शिव सब में वो पूजा करता, जो सेवा करता दीन दुखियों की वही पूजा करता. I tell people, don't do seva with ego. If you do seva just to get good karma, you will come back. People have got, I said, do seva as a karma yogi. But people are thinking by doing good karma, they will get moksha. So what is your thought on this? By doing good karma, can you get moksha? Just by doing good karma, not by being a karma yogi. Just if we live a life, we do good karma, will we attain moksha?
If you are kartavya nishtha, कर्तव्य कर्म में बिल्कुल निष्ठा हो अपना कर्तव्य करने में, that itself is a very, very big achievement. Whatever is your kartavya, wherever you are, it doesn't matter. If you're very firm in your kartavya nishtha, because kartavya karma is such a thing that when you do that, you are free from the nishiddha and sakam and all that karma. एक होता है नित्य कर्म, नैमित्तिक कर्म, ये कर्तव्य कर्म में आता है, एंड दूसरा है निषिद्ध कर्म, सकाम कर्म। तो ये दोनों अवॉइड करके नित्य नैमित्तिक कर्म में अडग रहे. You absolutely firm in that. It's your
what type of work?
Anything. It doesn't matter. You could be this. The scriptures give this beautiful example where this a sannyasi was not a sannyasi, a tapasvi was there in the forest, and he was doing tapasya, and there was a bird making some sound, and he sort of looked at it, and the bird was burnt and fell down. So he said, look, I have this ability, I have this power in me that I can just look at something and this. Then he went into the town for bhiksha after this. And he stood at the door and said, Bhavati bhiksham dehi. And the voice came from inside, said, please wait, I'm coming. Adha ghanta nikal gaya, and then the door was opened, and he was mad by that time, half an hour. And in his mind, this thought was there that, look, this is the power that I have. The lady of the house who opened the door and saw his angry face said, I'm not like that bird that you can burn. He was shocked. He said, this has just happened. How does she know? I am standing over here. I mean, how does she know this? So he says, you tell me. I mean, he was humbled completely. He says, I have this knowledge because of my guru. And I have this whole knowledge because he told me to do my kartavya. I was taking care of my husband right now. I was doing my kartavya. I could not come to the door because of that, because he is sick. And therefore, I could not come. And this is this. And he's saying, with what? How did you get this? He said, because of my guru. So he says, please show me, where is the guru? He's saying, you go to the bazaar and you will find this. And the guru happened to be a butcher. So here is a butcher doing his job. He is, meat वगैरह जो भी है, he is तौल के सबको देता है. This is it. And he kept on looking at him from far. And this, he saw the whole day because he was shocked. He thought, how could such a person ever be my guru? So he was standing there completely, this. In the evening, when the job was over and all, and he went up and said, look, so-and-so told me and referred to me, referred you to me, and what you're doing seems completely not to my liking, but I see a complete peace on your face, and it has attracted me so much. Whole day I have been seeing. Please tell me the rahasya of all this. There's a long story, however. The crux of the knowledge that he gave, he says, when I measure the, tolta hoon, so I have to keep both the sides of the measure the same. He says, when doing this, mera man sama ho gaya. I have, nirdoshami samam brahma. Brahma kya hai? Sama hai. It is the same everywhere. There's no degrees or anything.
There's no other thought.
This. So he says, my mind has become completely sama. Now, what is he doing? He's doing this. His sadhana is what? This. And he's became this. So even with that kartavya nishtha, the mind becomes so pure. And in that mind, if knowledge happens, you realize. So how to make the mind pure? Na? There are hundreds of ways. Jaise, कि if you want to wash some clothes, there are hundreds of detergents available. So whichever detergent you use, that's fine. Finally, you need the water. That's a different thing. But to make the pure mind, kartavya karma, just do your kartavya with complete, total and absolute nishtha. The mind becomes free of raga, dvesha, vivek aa jata hai, vairagya ho jata hai. All the other things are possible. That is said, dharmate virati. If you have really done your kartavya well, by the end of it, you will automatically get vairagya. That is a fact.
Agreed.
I have experienced it, you have experienced it. You did your job, you got vairagya from it. I did my job, I got vairagya.
Why everybody can't get, why majority are not getting, why
so
are people lost?
Kartavya nishtha is a very, very powerful thing, which is explained.
I understand. But see, don't you think
So seva is also, so that is why right now, what it's not that I say, it's just what the gurus and all have given is 4 S's. I talk of that, not S's, but S's, 4 of them. One is seva, one is satsang, one is swadhyay, and one is sadhana. ये 4 S आ जाए ना जीवन में, तो खत्म हो
Beautiful.
गया. तो
Very
सेवा
beautiful.
है, साधना है,
Explain in English for
satsang.
people these four things.
Seva is serving others selflessly, serving others, whoever. And seva, you don't have to go out of your way. Bhagwan gives each one of us on a daily basis
Opportunity.
enough opportunities to serve others.
Correct. So, seva.
So seva is important. Then sadhana is important. As I said, compulsory and exclusive God time.
Correct.
Sadhana. Sadhana, I will add a little more. It is how important and how this is. It's like, and especially when people say, humko time nahi hai. For that, this story is very, very relevant. There was a woodcutter and he was cutting a wood with his axe. A friend came and said, chalo, let's go for a movie. He says, no, I have so many trees to cut, I have no time. So the friend went and after a few hours came back and said he was cutting the same tree. So he says, what did you do? Did you take a break? He says, no, I've been at it. He says, but you've hardly made a dent. How is it possible? Show me your axe. So he saw the axe was blunt. He says, my dear, why didn't you spend some time and sharpen your axe? He says, I have no time. I have so much work to do.
Okay.
So sadhana this is what sadhana does.
Also to have a sharp axe.
Sadhana makes this mind pure, concentrated, subtle.
Okay.
With such a mind, you do even your worldly work. It doesn't matter.
But you have consciousness. You're basically
your mind is alert. Your mind is free of this stress and all. Sadhana makes that happen.
Okay.
So therefore, compulsory sadhana time.
Done. Seva, sadhana.
Seva, sadhana. Then swadhyaya. Swadhyaya has a couple of meanings. One is introspection. Swa ka adhyan, apne hi man ko dekho. This is a very, very wonderful thing to do because only when you look inside you understand क्या है. I always say कि भगवान ने बहुत ही अच्छी बात की है कि no one can see each other's face. Because if they could see each other's face, no two people will sit next to each other. क्योंकि अंदर क्या पड़ा है सबको पता है. So, we know what's there in the mind. We can see our mind. We never look. Our intentions, what happens inside, क्यों क्रोध आता है, what is our trigger, why do we this. So if you really look inside, a lot of things happen. It allows this mind to, speak and say what's happening inside and all. So Swadhyaya one is introspection. Swadhyaya. The other is study of the scriptures because the study of the scriptures are like seeing a mirror. So when you look there, actually you're not looking there, you're looking here. Okay. So when I read the Gita or study the Gita or anything, it's actually Swakadhyan. So, and that takes you to the Swadhyaya of your own, taking you to your own true nature. Satsang will help because if you're going to study on your own, you may misunderstand and you won't even know whether you've misunderstood.
And satsang, you mean only bhajan, kirtan, satsang?
No, satsang means a talk and all that. So where you listen to someone speaking on a daily basis. So in case, satsang ka effect क्या होता है? हमारा भ्रम चला जाता है. Wrong notions that we have go away and all. There's a very beautiful story of Hanumanji. Hanumanji went to Lanka. Lankini was the immigration officer. He says, visa dikhao. He says, there's no question of visa. I've got international diplomatic this. Because I'm a cosmic doot. A doot of Bhagwan Rama means I've got universal visa, not just your this. So he says, Lankini said, you're a chor. Bhagwan said, mujhe chor, your boss is a chor. He kidnapped Sita ji and you're telling him. And he gave her one blow on the head. Now, Hanumanji's blow can be so powerful. She went completely knockout blow it was. But then she got up and she said, thank you for the satsang. It changed her. She resigned there itself. She gave her resignation there and she says, now, why? This blow of yours, all the false notions in my head went away because of this blow. What does satsang do? All the wrong notions go away.
Avidya as well.
Satsangatve nisangatvam. All the wrong notions go, or we get detached from the false, etc. All these things happen through satsang, in in the presence of a great master. I have experienced that, all in the presence of Gurudev. What all great things happen. My Guruji, who taught me, many great masters at whose feet whenever I've sat, I've understood this absolute beauty where things become so clear, mind becomes so free of all this tensions, etc. and all. So that is also very important. So satsang is important,
Very nice.
swadhyaya is important, seva
Seva.
is important. You know,
All the
so
four S's.
all the four S's are
Very
extremely
good.
important in
Very,
life.
I wanted you to
And
elaborate so
that's
people can enjoy. A lot of people think religion is very important to realize God. Rightfully so. Without religion, a foundation. So I tell people religion is a kindergarten. The university is spirituality. Because all religions may be good, but like we leave kindergarten and school and we evolve. I don't know how you would look at it, but like a game of pole vault, when we are running with the pole and we want to jump over that, we have to leave the pole to jump over. How would you look at it? This is my way of looking at religion being very important. So I tell people who ask me, I say, you cannot attain God without religion, and you cannot attain God with religion. I tell them you need to start with religion to reach that state of realizing the truth of. I don't even call God God anymore. I call God Sip, supreme immortal power. Because if you tell me God, I think of Shiva. Somebody thinks of Krishna. Somebody thinks of Ganesh. I've changed the name. I say God is Sip. God is nameless, formless. So I want to ask you that question, because when people sing Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. I tell them, Prabhu पास है, दूर नहीं वो प्रभु पास है, आत्मा ही परमात्मा है, दिल के अंदर उसका निवास है, शिव भी वही राम है, हनुमान वही घनश्याम है. This is my way of telling people, but I think it's very important for people to evolve from religion to spirituality. But how you have changed my views in so many ways today. You have got a complete, we are both on the same, absolutely same path. But the way you look at things is so different and so beautiful. And I have been aligned to so many beautiful things from your talk today. Tell me what you think about religion before we close. How important is religion for enlightenment, for God realization? This is my ultimate question to you.
what happens in time. Unfortunately, words take on connotations which have a different meaning. Now, for example, the word religion and spirituality, typically, it's nowadays a fashion to say, I'm spiritual, I'm not religious. And I have a complete objection to this whole thing. And people pride. And if they are going to say Om Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, they think it's, hey, ye to is religious hai. And if I say Om Oni Padme I'm spiritual. So there's a lot of all these type of, what do you say? I'm not a very great fan of these type of statements.
But practically,
So now when normally, that's why I'm saying these terms have taken on a connotation.
Correct.
It need not have been there, such connotations. Somewhere in our mind, deep inside, is this notion that religion means rituals and this, which is not really like that.
But it has become like that.
So that's what I'm saying. The connotations have, and I mean, to say that if I'm doing pranayam and yogasana or something like that, that I'm being spiritual, or if I'm only doing Vedanta Vichar, then I'm spiritual and all. This thing doesn't set well with my thinking.
What is your way of looking at it?
Yeah. So, even now, even though you say, I am not talking about religious, you still say Shivoham. Why do you even use the word Shiva?
Correct. Yeah.
You could just have dropped the word Shiva.
Correct. Tattvamasi
Right.
could be, you could have just used it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But still you use Shivoham.
Because we have, for 40 years, I'm conditioned
Exactly.
to that.
Then why do we object to the spiritual, the religiosity?
Yeah.
So what according to me, I do not want to put down this word religiosity. And another thing, now let me even give you this religious. So let's, what do you call it, analyze or just break up this thing. There is something called a sampradaya. And there's something called dharma. Okay? Sampradaya means what? If I have to translate it, is a religious sect. Because of a better word, I don't have here a better word, so I would give it the word.
Religious sect.
A religious sect, S-E-C-T, religious sect. What is a sampradaya? A sampradaya is something which has been started by a person in time in history. So it starts at a time. There's one founder. There is a particular book that it follows, or a particular scripture or a siddhanta, principles that it follows, and a particular code of conduct.
Correct.
When all of this is there, we call it a sampradaya.
Basically religion. It becomes like a religion.
Ism. Let me just put it as an ism.
Okay, ism. Yeah.
So, for example, you have Islam, started a period of time by a particular person, a particular book, particular Christianity, all of it will come, Jainism, Buddhism, etc., etc. Yeah. Now we have a Sanatana Dharma. It's not started at a period of time in history.
Yeah. It is.
It is not particular person. Vedavyasa only compiled the Vedas.
There's no author.
There's no this. There is no particular book only. It's not that if you go to the temple, then only you are a Sanatana Dharma, you follow Dharma. You can never go to a temple and still be extremely religious and all of it. You can have everything and all. And a particular code of conduct also. It's not that this only and that only. There is no such thing. Now, if you see, every religion or religious sect, sampradaya, takes from the dharma certain aspects of it, takes a certain ritual aspect of it also, and form. So there's a philosophy also, and there's a practice of it also. Then only a religious sect is formed. There's a philosophy to it, and there's a practice of it. Now, if there's only philosophy, there's a problem. There's only practice, there's a problem. It's blind, without the understanding, without the principle behind it. It's just following. There's a problem. And if it's just a following and know this, either way it's a problem.
Okay.
So therefore each of these have taken up certain practices and all that. So these sampradayas have come up because of the need of the time.
Definitely people need it.
There was a need. There was a certain gap over there, so many of them. Now, if I may permit to say, without this, you also have started a sampradaya.
Kind of, though I don't want to
start. Exactly.
Yeah.
Same thing I would say for Swami Chinmayananda. Yeah. A particular, you found a need, you found a place, you found the whole, sort of this, and you are certain principles which you have explained very beautifully. These are your principles behind which you have started. You have a certain, I'm sure there's a certain, people who are followers of yours have a certain code of conduct, the type of lingo they use, etc. There is, like for example, in Chinmaya Mission, we say Hari Om when we greet people, etc., etc. So there will be some certain type of things, which is perfectly fine. Yeah. What you're doing is great work. I really say with all admiration. It's a wonderful thing. So therefore, these are all required. Yeah. In each of these, there will be the doing aspect and there will be a philosophic aspect.
But
both of them have a role. Now, all your devotees that are there a lot of them would be devoted or spending their time in the Seva part of it. Yeah. Some of them. So, they may not be doing Hare Ram, but they are doing this.
Correct.
Someone in another place will be doing Hare Ram. You understand?
Correct.
So, I would not object to the Hare Ram, as I would not object to someone who is doing Seva. Because as far as this is his way of the practical aspect of it. Because 24 hours manan to karne wale nahi hai. So rest of the time, what are you going to be doing? You are doing. So one will do Hare Ram, one will do puja, one will do parayanam, one will do japa, one will do this, one will do all of these, one will do a combination of this. So different aspects of these sadhanas. So therefore, uh, I would not hasten to say, because even now, let us say you sit as an enlightened person, you say that, look, now I don't, I'm this. Yet you spend your time doing certain things. Gurudev, Swami Chinmayananda, there is no
You
question he was a Sthita Prajna. He was an enlightened soul. He was a Brahmagnani. Zero doubt in my mind. What did he do? He taught, he served,
He dedicated his life to a
dedicated his
cause.
life.
Yeah.
Exactly. So therefore, even rituals. I remember the Vishnu Sahasranamas. I have sat in his Vishnu Sahasranama Archanas. He would, and there used to be a huge audience of people who would be doing this, and he would be completely lost in this. At the time when these Archanas used to go on, I have sat for these Archanas where Gurudev would be sitting over there, almost like in a state of samadhi. But they're happening in his presence. He used to be having them. So therefore, even after, I know of a great saint called Swami Akhanand Maharaj, a Advaiti of a great, in Vrindavan. He used to be there. And towards the end of his life, he would have people, and people come to meet him and all that, and then they would be sitting there and all. Instead of anyone doing this, he would ask them to read the Ramcharitmanas. Very, very great souls. They would be doing kirtan. They would ask this ki chalo baitho, chalo kirtan karo. So therefore, all these religious practices, if you will say, they do not become redundant at any period of
Very,
time.
yeah. So you're
It doesn't
saying,
matter.
what you're saying
Even if they have realized the soul, वो पारायण करते थे.
beautiful.
इतने महान संत हो गए कि उनके अद्वैत की तो उनकी निष्ठा की कोई बात ही नहीं कर सकता है. ऐसे सिद्ध पुरुष, like भगवान रमण महर्षि. I mean, what to talk of his
He was
Atmanistha?
still there, Arunachala. He was
He
still
used
there.
to, he used to, what beautiful, this is composed on Arunachala.
Yeah.
You-
You're telling me something very beautiful. What you're actually saying is there's no hard and fast rule. You're saying that awakening process does not mean that you will be sitting looking at the sky for
And you
24
have to
by
give
7.
up religiosity, ऐसे कुछ
So
नहीं होता है.
so two things I want to say. First of all, there's a difference between all these isms and, for example, what Swami Chinmayananda did. Chinmayananda's teaching has not become an ism. It has become a very profound teaching of the truth. This is my understanding of it. So therefore, I differentiate, because those isms become very solo. They say this ism is right, all other isms are wrong. But in the spiritual teaching of Swami Chinmayananda Ji, he never says this is wrong and that is wrong. He says all are one. Everything is that non-dual, one truth self. So I completely understand, and I'm grateful that you have shared your view on this. I'm still very strong on my views because I'm so passionate about, I seem to be a little young and I seem to be having that push that I want to make people realize. But what I see people who are 70, who are 80, who are 90. And what they are saying, I tell them, you are Atma, Prabhu is inside you. Don't believe that after you die, we must do 13-day puja for your souls. Your soul, तुम्हारे आत्मा की शांति के लिए, आत्मा की शांति, आत्मा कोई शांति की जरूरत नहीं है, आत्मा खुद So you try to teach people who are, sorry to say, very religious in that sense. They say, no, Shiva will come. Shiva will save me. So sometimes they become very, very adamant or very bhakt oriented, which is not bad. I'm not saying it's bad, but what my wish is, I say thoda bhakti ko thoda aage karo. But what you're also saying is correct. It is not everybody's.
What you're doing is perfectly fine. That is this. A person, a Jivatma, is not going to get moksha here. Why won't I just give him that peace that he will meet his Shiva? Instead of making him not feel, na buddhi bhedam janet. Gita says so clearly, buddhi bhed mat karo. वो है उसकी श्रद्धा है कि भगवान शिव आएंगे.
आने दो.
तो उसको श्रद्धा को हम क्यों हटाएं?
Maybe next janma, maybe
इसलिए ना, that is why the very fact that he is sitting over here at that time, either I must have the power to be able to, मेरी दृष्टि मात्र से उसको ब्रह्म ज्ञान हो जाए, तो फिर उसको ठीक है. तो लास्ट डे उसको उसका मन हटना नहीं चाहिए. उसको भले वो कहे भगवान शिवाय, व्हाई नॉट, उसको लेट हिम हैव दैट श्रद्धा कि उसके दिल में भगवान शिव आ जाए एंड वो उसको मुक्त हो जाए. व्हाई नॉट? बिकॉज उसका पाथ ये है. एंड Bhagwan in all his great intelligence,
out of bhakti he may pull the
bhakta also, and he will have the right person coming into his life at the right time in this next janma. Who knows? So let him walk the path that he wants. Let him be happy the way he is. Na buddhi bhedam janaye.
We try to help people who,
and I would say ki personally, I mean, this is what you do is perfectly okay, but I would tell the person, yes, उनको ऐसी तीव्रता से करो कि भगवान आएंगे ही, उसमें कोई डाउट नहीं है. Please this. Why? Because I am no one. I am a small little speck of nothing.
Correct.
And he is all intelligent. सर्वज्ञ सर्वशक्तिमान परब्रह्म परमात्मा है. तो वो सर्वज्ञ सर्वशक्ति परमात्मा कि जो शक्ति होती है कि वो शिव बोलने मात्र से प्रकट हो सकते हैं, अगर उसमें इतनी प्रभाव होती है.
If that bhakti is so strong,
and नहीं हो तो भगवान खुद करेंगे. मैंने ठेका थोड़ा लेके रखा है कि सबको ये कर पाऊंगी भी.
वैसे थोड़ी हम कर रहे हैं. करने वाला तो वो है ना.
Exactly. So therefore, I would just say कि I lead. न बुद्धि भेदम, जो मार्ग में है, उसकी निष्ठा है, उसमें है, उसको आगे बढ़ने दो. Let them go ahead, and Bhagwan will, supposing he is not supposed to be there or he is to be somewhere else, to someone else.
It will happen.
They will bring them. Bhagwan will bring them to the right person at the right time, in the right way, because he's all intelligent and he knows what's best for each one of us.
And ultimately, Swamiji, we know one thing, that for this Leela to continue, for this is his plan. It is not that you and me are responsible for 99% not being Jigyasus. It is his plan. If he wanted tomorrow 50% to be Jigyasu, they would become. Is it that you and me are responsible as Swami Chinmayananda? If we have been awakened to some truth, we should be grateful कि हमें वो ज्ञान मिला है. But you've left a lot of good positive things on me because I am very stern on these matters.
I can see that.
So
I did my best.
So I will try to make little space because I am very demanding. I said, no. If you keep on clinging to the duality, you will never reach. Of course, I understand, obviously, but my passion for the Prabhu that's in all.
There was a time, and I keep on, I do this thing of scaring people, and I make them scared by this. You say, this is the time for moksha. This is the life for moksha. And I actually scare them. In the sense, I said, just imagine what the world is right now. When you're going to be born again.
And what is going to be then, we don't know.
First of all, let's say you are born after 50, 60 years. Right now, the attention span of a normal average child is about 5 minutes maximum. At that point of time, what will be? And probably that child's child could be your parent. So imagine what type of parents you will have. And you don't know whether you'll have a donor parent as a parent also or how it would be. Things would be very, very different. You are imagining there will be same person, like you are imagining there's one guru who you have right now. You have all of this and everything is going to be exactly like that. That guru is not going to wait around for you to come back again and all with that same dadi and all that. He's not going to sit there.
Now or never.
He's not going to be there. So you think, so all of this I have told. So at that point of time when I really scared them with all that, they said, nahi, is janam mein hi moksha chahiye, is janam mein hi moksha chahiye. But I have also understood that when I'm telling them they are saying that. Because I'm scaring them, they're saying
But
that.
then 5 minutes from then,
But 5 minutes after that, they go back to whatever. So now I have stopped scaring anyone.
some gurus scare people, say, kutta banoge.
Then all that is okay.
Some gurus say that,
No,
kutta banoge tum.
the fact is we can become anything.
Yeah, because the logic is very
The
clear.
logic is anything, and we don't know where we are going to be born. If you imagine you're going to be born again in India or in some this, it's that also it's an imagination. We don't know.
Let us
First
not
of
think
all,
of that. Let us
so
aim for
therefore,
the ultimate.
so therefore, it is it's caring for them. So at that point of time, they feel yes, 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 yes. Yeah, we have to get moksha. We have to get it now only. Yes, mere koi. They say also and all, and I feel happy. Ki हाँ, he feels. But I know. In a little time, it just goes away. So therefore, I have now stopped scaring people.
No, let us try to get people.
No, I talk about, because after all, at the end of the day, Vedanta is my heart and soul. Vedanta is the only thing I live for. Vedanta is the only knowledge I know. I don't know anything else. I have nothing else to share with the world.
You are a shine.
But
Yeah, you are a light that's shining, and I wish that your light continues to shine on as many people as you can. I'm new to the subject, but in the last 10 years, I have dedicated myself completely. I'm very clear. I want to help people to go towards this. I'm trying to help people to realize the truth. It's not difficult, like you said, to understand, but realization. I tell people pillu. First there's purification, then illumination, then realization, then liberation, then unification. Try to put all the modern mantras, try to get people into some seeking. I say, what you earn, others will burn. Why are you earning? Is it that more money equals more happiness? No. Why you're running in this world? People are not understanding. So I've tried to create some methods, and I hope maybe it's good to have met you. Maybe we'll get a chance to meet again and see how we can help people. Yeah, the objective is, what is the objective of this conversation? Help people. I tell people, open your eyes to realize. Open your real eyes. Don't just go on, go on, go on.
thank you very much for having me. Hari Om,
Thank you so much.
namaskar.
It was such an honor and so nice speaking to you. My dear friends, I hope you enjoyed this conversation with Swami Vimalananda Ji. She has taken the trouble of coming, and she is a very, very enlightened person with the blessings of Swami Chinmayananda. If you haven't heard Swami Chinmayananda, you must. And of course, she is a very active follower, and she spreads his teachings and her own realization. I hope you enjoy this conversation. Thank you for patiently listening to the video. And if you have questions, if you want to contact me, just WhatsApp me on 98451 55555. WhatsApp India 919845155555. But if you want to get answers to your questions, then come on Zoom, and the Zoom ID is on your screen. Every day at 8, you will find answers to all the difficult questions of life. See you there.